The locals whispered about the bungalow. They called it cursed. They spoke of Eleanor Hayes, a young woman who died within its walls. Her death was a mystery, shrouded in whispers and speculation. Some said it was an accident, others a more sinister act. Eleanor was a radiant soul, full of life and laughter. She loved the bungalow, calling it her sanctuary. Then one cold December night, she was gone. Found at the bottom of the grand staircase, her neck broken. The police ruled it an accident, but the whispers persisted. Had she fallen or was she pushed? The old bungalow stood on the edge of town, a relic of a bygone era. Its once grand facade now crumbled and weathered. It seemed to hold stories of the past within its walls. It was shrouded in an eerie silence, so profound it felt as if the house itself was holding its breath, waiting for something or someone. The house was a silhouette against the fading light, its darkened form standing stark against the twilight sky, casting long shadows that seemed to stretch out and touch the very edges of the town. Its windows, like vacant eyes, stared out at the world, empty and hollow, as if they had witnessed countless secrets and sorrows over the years. This was no ordinary house. It was a place where the past and present seemed to collide, where time stood still, and where the air was thick with memories. Shadows whispered and darkness lingered, every corner holding a story, every creak of the floorboards echoing with the voices of the past. It held secrets buried deep within its heart, forgotten by time, but waiting to be uncovered by those brave enough to seek them out. I could feel it calling to me, beckoning me closer, as if the house itself had a will of its own, drawing me in with an irresistible pull. As I stepped onto the overgrown path, the air grew heavy with anticipation. The once manicured garden was now a wild tangle of weeds and vines, reclaiming the land. A chill ran down my spine, a shiver that seemed to come from deep within the house itself, as if it was aware of my presence and was reacting to it. I could sense the weight of the bungalow's history, a palpable presence that seemed to hang in the air, heavy with the emotions and experiences of those who'd lived there. Each step forward pulled me further into its grasp, as if the house was wrapping its tendrils around me, drawing me deeper into its embrace. This was a place of sorrow, of pain, where the walls seemed to weep with the memories of those who had suffered within them. I was here to uncover its truth, to peel back the layers of time and reveal the stories that had been hidden for so long, to bring light to the darkness that had enveloped this place. The bungalow was once a grand home, a symbol of elegance and prosperity. Its walls have witnessed countless stories, from joyous celebrations to quiet, reflective moments. Its wraparound porch hinted at lazy afternoons and laughter, where families gathered to share their lives and dreams. The rocking chairs now still once swayed gently with the rhythm of conversations and the passage of time. The intricate details in the eaves spoke of a time when craftsmanship mattered, when every curve and line was a testament to the builder's skill and pride. These details, though weathered, still whisper the dedication of those who created them. There was beauty here, lost beneath the decay of neglect. The overgrown plants and peeling paint tell a story of abandonment, of a place once cherished but now forgotten. But beneath the beauty lay something else, something darker. The broken windows and tattered curtains hint at secrets hidden within these walls, secrets that have been kept in the shadows for far too long. The paint peeled from the walls like shedding skin, revealing layers of history and stories untold. Each crack and flake is a reminder of the passage of time and the memories that have been left behind. The floorboards creaked under the weight of forgotten memories. Every step taken in this house is a journey through its past, a past filled with both joy and sorrow. The air was thick with the scent of dust and decay, a tangible reminder of the years that have passed since this house was last filled with life. The dust particles floating in the sunlight are like tiny ghosts of the past, dancing in the stillness. The once vibrant colors were now faded whispers of the past. The wallpaper, now discolored and peeling, once added warmth and character to these rooms, but now it stands as a testament to the relentless march of time. This house held stories it was desperate to tell. The old photo albums and cobweb-covered books are relics of a bygone era, each one holding a piece of the puzzle that is this house's history. If only these walls could speak, they would tell tales of love, loss, and everything in between. The locals whispered about the bungalow. They called it cursed. They spoke of Eleanor Hayes, a young woman who died within its walls. Her death was a mystery, shrouded in whispers and speculation. Some said it was an accident, others a more sinister act. Eleanor was a radiant soul, full of life and laughter. She loved the bungalow, calling it her sanctuary. Then one cold December night, she was gone. Found at the bottom of the grand staircase, her neck broken. The police ruled it an accident, but the whispers persisted. Had she fallen or was she pushed? I dug into the bungalow's past. I scoured old newspapers, dusty records and aging photographs. I spoke to the town's oldest residents, their memories fading, but their stories vivid. Each piece of information I uncovered added another layer to the mystery. The bungalow was built in 1920 by a wealthy businessman named Arthur Blackwood. He spared no expense, creating a home fit for a king. But tragedy struck just a year later when his wife Clara died in childbirth. Arthur, heartbroken, abandoned the bungalow, leaving it to gather dust and sorrow. Years later, a young couple, John and Mary Davis, purchased the bungalow. They were filled with hope, eager to start a family within its walls. But their happiness was short-lived. John lost his job and they fell into debt. The pressure proved too much. They argued constantly, their dreams turning to ashes. One night, John vanished. Mary claimed he had left her, abandoning her and their unborn child. But whispers suggested a darker truth. Had their argument turned deadly? Was John's disappearance another tragedy to befall the bungalow? As I explored the bungalow, I felt a constant presence. Cold spots sent shivers down my spine. Floorboards creaked underfoot as if walked upon by unseen feet. The air was thick with a palpable sense of sadness and despair. In the attic, I found a child's doll, its porcelain face cracked and faded. In the master bedroom, a faded love letter, its words filled with both adoration and despair. The bungalow held on to these remnants of the past, refusing to let go. Each object whispered a tale of love, loss, and tragedy. The bungalow stood as a testament to the darkness that can dwell within even the most beautiful of places. Was it haunted? The evidence was compelling. The tragic deaths, the mysterious disappearances, and the eerie sounds that echoed through its empty halls all pointed to a chilling conclusion. The once vibrant garden now lay in ruins, overgrown with weeds and vines, as if nature itself had abandoned the place. The unexplained occurrences, the flickering lights that seemed to dance with a life of their own, and the creaking doors that opened and closed without a breeze, all added to the sense of dread that permeated the air. Neighbors spoke in hushed tones about the strange figures they had seen moving past the windows at night, shadows that seemed to have a mind of their own. The lingering sense of unease was palpable, a heavy weight that pressed down on anyone who dared to step inside. The old furniture, covered in dust and cobwebs, seemed to whisper secrets of the past, tales of sorrow and despair that had unfolded within those walls. Each room held its own story, a piece of the puzzle that made up the bungalow's dark history. But some mysteries are not meant to be solved. The fog that rolled in from the forest seemed to cloak the bungalow in a shroud of secrecy, as if protecting it from prying eyes. It was as if the very air around the house was alive, whispering warnings to those who dared to come too close. Perhaps the spirits of those who met their end within its walls still lingered, trapped in a cycle of sorrow and despair. Their ghostly figures were said to roam the halls, reliving their final moments over and over again. Some claimed to have heard their cries for help echoing through the night, a chilling reminder of the bungalow's tragic past. Trapped in a cycle of sorrow and despair, these restless spirits seemed to be searching for something, perhaps a way to find peace or a means to escape their eternal torment. The old toys left behind in one of the rooms added to the eerie atmosphere, as if the children who once played with them had never truly left. Or perhaps the bungalow itself was a conduit for something darker, a portal to another realm where malevolent forces thrived. The stormy skies that often loomed overhead seemed to mirror the turmoil within, as if the house was a living entity, feeding on the pain and suffering it had witnessed. Something sinister that fed on the pain and suffering it had witnessed. The dark shadows that moved within the house seemed to have a life of their own, shifting and changing shape as if they were alive. The lightning that occasionally illuminated the house only served to highlight its eerie presence, casting long, menacing shadows that danced across the walls. Whatever the truth may be, one thing was certain. The bungalow on the edge of town would forever be shrouded in an eerie silence, its secrets whispered on the wind. The eerie lighting that bathed the house in an otherworldly glow only added to its mystique, drawing in those who were brave enough to seek answers. The bungalow on the edge of town would forever be shrouded in an eerie silence, its secrets whispered on the wind. The quiet, empty street that led to the house seemed to hold its breath, as if waiting for something to happen. The foggy nights only added to the sense of isolation, making the bungalow feel like a world unto itself. Its secrets whispered on the wind that blew through the trees near the old house seemed to carry with it the voices of the past, a haunting melody that spoke of love, loss, and longing. The dark forest that surrounded the bungalow only added to its mystique, a place where the line between reality and the supernatural seemed to blur.